Hi, I'm Paul Russell. This is the Musical Mandala, and today we're going to look at improvisation on guitar using arpeggios, consisting of chord tones, and passing tones between chord tones. So an arpeggio is just tones played sequentially. Like here's a chord, A, C, and E, and here's an arpeggio. Simple enough. So remember, our basic triad has three components: a root, this A also, a fifth, in A minor, that's an E, it's here, and here, and then the third, which makes the chord minor or major. In this case, it's minor, this C on the B string, gives us an A minor chord. The most stable and fundamental element of the A minor chord is A, right? And this low A is going to be providing our reference tone this whole time. And this higher A, you can hear is very consonant. Makes for a very simple, agreeable relation. Now the fifth is the next most stable, consonant, simple tone relative to the root. Sounds like this. It's nice sounding. For contrast, right, there's unstable and here's stable. This high fifth also sounds very stable. And it has a similar quality. Here they are played together. Now, the least stable element of the triad is the third. And you can notice this most clearly in contrast. I'm going to go from the root to the third, and then from the third back to the root. And what you're listening for is just a sense of, like, we're still in something that fits, but it's a little less grounded, right? So here's the root to the third. And the third back to the root. Root to the third. Third to the root. And now root to the fifth, and it's the fifth below I'm going to go to. And the fifth to the root. To the third. Up to the fifth. To the third. From the third to the root. It's generally a safe move to go from chord tone to chord tone, even from the root to the fifth. Like, it's a very safe and stable move. So between each pair of chord tones, that is between a chord tone and the next chord tone, either above or below, like from the root, A or Do, the closest chord tone above is C, the third, and the closest chord tone below is E, the fifth, or Sol. It's like Do, Sol, Do, Me, Do. Now between the root and the third, between Do and Me, is the second, B or Re. And Re is really unstable relative to the root. Just listen to B against A. And how that feels when you come home. So I'm going to pass pretty quickly through it. Like, Now, incorporating a passing tone, I can either go from chord tone to chord tone, root to the third. I can pass through the second on the way to the third, or I can go up to the second, change my mind, and come back to the root, right? And the root really is strong. It's drawing the second back to it. You need a little bit of momentum to get up to the third. And here's a little improvisation, keeping a low A string going. Now you try a similar thing. Now, you can either keep the A going with your thumb or just sound it once. Like you can go. Oops. Or alternately, make like a jam track for yourself or on a looper and just get an A minor chord going behind you and play in that context. Okay, now for the next chord tone, passing tone, chord tone relationship, we're going to go from the root, this A, and back to E, to the fifth sol. Now, you'll note that between the fifth and the root, there are two passing tones. The minor sixth, a half step above the fifth, and the seventh, a whole step behind the root. Just because of the relative distances, it's more common to hear than it sounds a little exotic doing that. It's cool if you can get away with it, but for this example, I just want to use the seventh, or te, between the root and the fifth. And here's a little improv doing that. Including the third. And now we'll incorporate the fourth between the third and the fifth. So the fourth, or fa, is a passing tone between me and sol. Me, fa, sol, sol, fa, me, si to E, the third to the fifth to the third. And notice, because we don't come to the root, the melody never feels like it really rests. Like if I want to have it feel like it comes to a resting point, I'd be like. Right? And that makes it feel like it's landed. So, between the root and the third, between do and me, we have the second. Between the third and the fifth, we have the fourth. And between the root and the fifth below, we have the seventh. And so there's basically all our chord tone, passing tone, chord tone relationships in the context of an A minor chord and open position on guitar. And when you're doing this, I suggest singing and playing, having in mind what you play before you play it. But, you know, you learn that skill through listening with intention. So here I'll demonstrate. Bum, dum, da, dum, da, 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 da. So there's the practice, and have fun with it.